we go. Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. Well, I am outside under an umbrella because all of my kids are home and I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Hold on one second. Let's check the setting here. Hello, test, test, test. Yes, you can. I am out. There we go. Sorry, guys. Jeez, man. All right. Anyways, welcome. It's Luke. It's raining. I'm outside underneath an umbrella because my kids are all home. I know I disappeared. Sorry. Because school's out and my wife's a teacher and everyone's here. So here we are outside. It's beautiful out. Raining. There's a bucket on the porch because my house is a mess because everybody's back. Um, so I missed the show today. I was golfing. Joe and Isaac did a great job. And for those of you who haven't heard, we kind of got it. I don't want to say we got into it, but there was a post on one of our Facebook groups called Everything Canfield where a homeowner got a video of the Canfield zoning inspector confirmed walking onto the middle of her property, taking a sign of a business that was working on the roof. Okay. I talked, message back and forth with the owner. She was not contacted. She was no letter, no heads up, no knock on the door, nothing. Sign was taken. And she also confirmed that one was taken prior. And the roof was being worked on. There was a tarp on it because it was leaking, and that's why the thing was being done. Now, they were waiting for approval from the insurance company to start actual work. Whatever, doesn't matter. The insurance company, the zoning inspector, literally the video, if you haven't seen it, it's down in our videos, walks onto the property, takes the sign. I think I'm about to get poured on. Luckily, I have an umbrella. So the issue, and I know Joe and Isaac went over it, but again, I can't keep my mouth shut. The issue was with me and Isaac was you can't have that happen. I'm going to have to go in my garage. Do you guys see this? Ah, everyone watching this? Ah, all right. Um, so, anyways, the issue was it can't happen. You can't go, the government cannot go onto your property. And this is confirmed with lawyers. This is confirmed with research. A state employee cannot go onto a property. Okay, do you understand that? Without a warrant, without notification, without a heads up. Doesn't matter what your ordinance says. Doesn't matter if the Canfield writes up a law that says, hey, we can go on your property and take a sign. No, you do not trump state laws. State law, and you can fact check me on it. You can Google. I don't care what your lawyer says in Canfield. They're just trying to cover their butts. Always remember, lawyers are always trying to cover the butts because we have on film one of their employees walking onto a property without notification. So if they admit they're wrong, they could get sued and lose all kinds of money. So of course they're going to say, oh, no, we need to do it, blah, 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 right? No, it's not how that works. You can't do it. So, anyways, guy walks. Anyways, there is, and I checked through their ordinances 100 times. Nothing on there. There's no policy on taking signs. The only rule in there, if you look under the sign ordinances for signs at the very bottom, it says penalty. You will receive a written notification and then $100 a day. That's it. Other than that, there's no verbiage that says you can take signs. The state of Ohio has a verbiage, though, that you can take a sign, or that the city, township, whatever, can take a sign if it is in the, quote, right of way. So if I'm an idiot and I go put a sign in the right of way, let's say on a curb real close to the road where somebody can't see, You don't have to ask permission because it's a safety issue, which makes total sense to me and probably makes total sense to you, right? Jerry just said, did you check on Isaac? He was very wound up. Yeah, Isaac, it's that pre-workout, dude. The dude takes that before he goes to exercise, and he's all fired up. All right. Anyways, so and you got to remember too, Isaac has a thing with lawyers, and look, it is pouring, and I'm under this umbrella. You can see this pouring. Anyways, back to the point ahead. You cannot take the signs. Now, Dominic just says, yeah, signs in front of Walmart gas stations and street signs should be removed. Those are business signs. That's totally different. We can get into that later. I am no lawyer. I'm just telling you what I've researched, right? You could probably call them and see. Who knows what had happened with the business signs. I know there's different stuff with commercial. I don't know about the location, but again, if it's in the right of way, I gotta assume that's got to be able to be removed, right? So again, call the city and ask. How this all fired up again? Like I said, lady sends us a video. I am maturing, by the way. I know you guys have been some of you have been following us for 5 years. I'm maturing. I reached out to the mayor of Canfield before I posted anything. I think that's maturing because normally I would have just fried them Canfield on purpose and just watch what happened and watch the flames burn. As you guys know, I like to just flames, yay, yeah. No, I didn't. I messaged the mayor first, who I know, who I've talked to, we've had on the podcast. I gave him a chance before I posted that. I said, Mr. Dragish, I need a statement. Here's the video. What do you think? And he basically doubled down and said, we're allowed to do this. It's in our ordinances. We're allowed to go into property remove signs. We've been doing it for years. I said, Donnie, I'm going to give you one more chance, and you can die on this hill or not before I release this video. I've gone over the ordinances. It's not in there. Are you sure you want to say it's okay? Have at it. We're allowed to do it. Okie dokie. So I released the video. And then, by the way, the lady had already put it on Everything Poland. I just put it on to the MLO Bros on Facebook, and I put it on to our TikTok, and I put it on to Instagram, and fed it to the masses. And it exploded. It's like 50,000 views on Facebook in like half an hour. I'm going to assume that they got buried because I got a message from Donnie the next day, Mayor Dragish, saying, why are you doing something around the lines of spitballing here? Why are you doing this over stupid signs? What a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I warned you. I told you, this is what happens. And by the way, it's not a little thing to us. It might be a little thing to you. It might be a little thing to your government, to the city of Canfield. But don't worry, I have good news. I have good news. I have good news. Just hang tight. It might be a little news. And I think that's the problem with these government officials, not just Donnie. I'm not blaming Donnie. I like Donnie a lot. They look at this stuff as like, oh, it's just a sign. But it's not just a sign to us, the people. It's a sign that's on my property that your employee walked onto my yard and took a sign. What's next? The next thing's going to be you walk on and take what? My car because it's parked wrong? Or you walk on and you take something else. You gotta follow the rules. So it might be a little thing to you, but to Isaac and I, to Joe, I know these are big freaking things, and that's why we make a freaking big deal about it. It's the same thing with the West Branch thing, where you got this school board member that is just running out of control, sending text messages, doing all this stuff. It's not just these little tiny things. They try and make it seem so little, but it's not. When you add all these things up in these little local governments, you let them get away with it. This is what happens. I have to move more to the middle of my umbrella because I'm starting to get wet. Oh my God. Exactly. Michael says it's not just a sign. Give the government issue, take it right. And that's why we do what we do. And I think, Donnie didn't understand it. And I think he does now. I hope he does. It's not just us being assholes. It's us trying to make local government, make local officials understand that we're going to use this platform to make you realize these people, us, the people on Facebook, on social media, aren't going to put up with this shit anymore that we've been dealing with. Does that make sense? But I come bearing good news. So last night, I got a phone call from the president of the um, council, Christina Oliver, who is a great, great lady. I absolutely love her. She's an awesome lady. She's running for commissioner in the fall. I think she'll do a great job. She's also, I think she's running against Spaghetti Rigetti, by the way. We'll talk about that later. But Spaghetti Rigetti. And she called me, wasn't on Facebook, was really confused what was going on. I was like, Luke, what are you doing? Why are you like all this stuff? And I explained it to her. She's like, I'm going to get into it. I'll dig into it. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. Okay. I also did a couple freedom of information requests to the city manager, Diapolito. And I also did a public information request. And I did like a media request asking questions of, hold on. I got to go in my garage. Hold tight. This sucks. I'm sorry. You guys got to hold on. We're going to get wet. Everybody hold on. I'm getting, look at this. Look at this. I don't know what to do. I'm flooding out. Help. I might be in too deep already. My umbrella's not holding anymore. What do I do? Help. Just kidding. All right. I'll just sit here. Whatever. All right. So I sent an official statement or an official request to the city manager, David Diapolito. I said to him, I'm just going to read this. We're reaching out to help set the record straight regarding a recent controversy on Facebook. Again, this is after the shit hit the fan the other day. Surrounding the signs being removed from the residential yards in the city of Canfield. There's been confusion among residents, and we'd like to provide the public with accurate information. To that end, we are requesting an official statement from you as the city manager. There is, okay, as for you as the city manager. At that end, we respectfully ask for clarification on the following questions. One, what specific ordinance or municipal code allows a zoning inspector to enter private property and remove signs without prior notice or consent? Two, where are the removed signs taken after they are confiscated? Three, how can residents retrieve their signs if they're being taken? Four, does the city believe a local ordinance can override state law or the Fourth Amendment protections when it comes to entering private property? And you got to remember, Fourth Amendment, illegal search and seizure. Seizure. We're not talking about a seizure. We're talking about seizure, as in I just seizured my cell phone case. Taking things. Fourth Amendment. That's kind of a big one, right? And that's what that guy did. He went onto private property and took something that wasn't his. And of course, the city, like they were trying to say in council, there was a council meeting, and I'm not going to get into that because they were just blowing smoke trying to calm things down. But they were trying to get it. Oh, that's the business's sign. Wrong. It was left on private property. That is now my property. It's on my property. You don't know if there was an agreement for me to watch it. You don't know. You can't take it. It's mine now. It's on my property. So good try. Lawyers, you're funny. All right. 5. How does the city interpret Ohio Attorney General Opinion number 98018, which states zoning inspectors may not enter private property without consent or an administrative warrant? You hear that? That is literal code to the state of Ohio that states they can't walk onto private property without consent or an administrative warrant. That's again what we're saying. They can't do it. And they've been doing it for a long time. You have to write something. I don't care if it takes too long. I don't care if you have to do it. You can't just randomly do it. And I know there's other cities that are doing this. And I'll tell you what, if you're watching and you don't live in Canfield, you don't live and your city's doing it, let me know because I'm going to go after these cities. I want to know if they're doing it because I want to continue this because this is BS. And if it's going on around here, it needs to stop. So let me know. Finally, does the city plan to continue this enforcement policy going forward? All right. We appreciate your response. So I've never talked to this David Appolito. I don't know who he is. I locked up and Isaac.
I'm doing my laundry in my underwear over here, and I just wanted to just stop in and clarify and say, hey, Luke, if you would have been a part of the podcast this morning, you could have instead of golfing, you could have told the people about this, but you were golfing.
Yeah, I watched your thing, which I actually watched, which is why I want to come on here because you and Joe did a great job. You made me proud because you were ranting and raving just like me, and you were firing out the facts that I sent you. I was so proud of you.
I read exactly what you sent me.
I know, and I had.
I'll tell you what though. Did you listen to what Christine Oliver said? Like
I never got
that far.
But I was going to read the letter that David D'Appolito sent us.
And he's from where exactly?
The city manager sent us a letter.
Okay, yeah, let's go through that. But Christine Oliver called in. I give her props. She basically said, like, I get it. We're working through it. The old process was this guy, she basically said we need to go back to the old way. And
good. So hey, how about a local government official admitting they messed up? That's all we ever want.
Yeah. Like, hey, we're working on it. Like, yeah, I'm cool with that, man. And I admire her. She went right to the source of the people who were calling her out and said, yeah, we're going to do A, B, C, and D. And yeah, I mean, go back and listen to it. I think she did. I was sat there and listened to the whole time, and she got it. So,
and the other thing I like about it, she's running for Mahoning County Commissioner against Spaghetti Rigetti in the fall. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
You know that now. That makes me so happy that she's acting like this to run against Spaghetti Rigetti, who fired a guy with cancer.
Right. Because he sat at the wrong lunch table.
Because he voted for her opponent, and then he fired. Yeah, she's running against Spaghetti Rigetti.
He sat at an opponent's table at a dinner.
Yep.
Like,
So I did. Yeah. So all right. You want me to read this letter?
Yeah, read it. Let's go.
All right.
This was today, right? This was post podcast.
Well, and I guess I was like, again, I know this is David D'Appolito's, but I'm going to give him some credit. And if they follow through, I will keep up on these guys. And we're going to send them a letter saying, hey, I want you to follow. I want to follow up when this happens. So he says, good morning, gentlemen. Using that term loosely. He didn't say that, but I will say that. Thank you for the opportunity to address the concerns raised by you and your audience. I'm going to guess with that, he probably got hammered. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Please know that we are always striving to do better in delivering services to our residents. As a result of this incident, we are now reviewing our procedures to ensure that we will handle these types of matters in a more effective and professional manner.
That's what Christine said. Christine said something along those lines. Yeah.
Okay. One issue you brought to light is the city's zoning vehicle is not clearly marked. Remember in the video, it was like a black car. Could have been anybody.
Yeah.
We are now addressing that, and it will be rectified very soon. Hey,
which is honestly like a number, like not even for the residents' safety.
His safety.
If that dude walks onto the wrong property, he's gonna get freaking shot.
Right.
Like, this is America, dude. What are you doing?
Right, dude. So how about this? He gets out of his car in an unmarked car. My kids are playing in the front yard. And I see a dude get out and start walking to, like, let's say my kids are in the driveway, the sign's there. He gets, you know what I'm doing if I see a dude like that walking towards my kids? I'm coming out freaking
Stone Cold stunning that guy in your front yard on camera.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I'm telling you.
And then all you got to say, all a random person has to say is, that guy walked on my property towards my kids and I got scared. And I didn't know what to do.
100%. 100%.
Like, for that guy's safety,
Yeah. All right. Additionally, we are exploring alternatives to the current process for removing signs that violate our zoning ordinances. Rather than immediately issuing citations and requiring our residents to appear in mayor's court, we are considering alternative methods such as possibly placing the signs on the porch of the homeowner along with a door hanger explaining the potential violation.
Just
There you
don't
go.
move their shit, bro. Put a door hanger on there and say, hey, signs in the
Yep.
yard. It violates this. If you have a
Yep.
problem, call these people, but you
Yeah.
got to get your sign
Hey.
removed.
Yep.
Call us if you have any other issues.
Yep.
And then if they don't, then move it to their front door.
Yep. Currently, the removed signs are stored at Public Works where a resident can retrieve the sign. Another issue brought to light is the need for all city employees to wear and display their identification cards. No kidding.
Yeah.
We now recognize how important that is to our residents. But again, to be clear, I want to review the entire process and examine how we enforce the zoning code. Furthermore, I've asked the city's law director to review all of our zoning. Sorry, it's soaked out here. Ordinances to ensure that they are fair and consistent. Overall, I believe our city does an excellent job in providing services to our residents, and that's a big part of what makes Canfield a desired place to live. Our safety forces, public works, and department and zoning code all contribute to making our city safe, clean, and attractive community to live in. But that doesn't mean we can't do better. Again, thank you for reaching out and highlighting the situation. As a result of your input and that of our residents, we will continue to find a better approach to these situations going forward. Thank you. Hopefully he's not blowing smoke. I will follow up. We will continue to follow up. You know, I love to follow up on shit like this, so I will follow up. And yeah, I think we made a point. I think we made a difference. Isaac, is that fair?
Yeah, went a long way from the mayor saying we did nothing wrong and we can do whatever the hell we want to hey, maybe we should fix this.
Yeah, I think Mayor Dragish might have learned a lesson too. By the way,
Donnie, little change of tune from when we were messaging him too.
I gave him a chance, Isaac. I gave him a chance. Did you hear me say you weren't on here? I said Luke Schuster is maturing. I am maturing. I messaged him. I didn't call him. I messaged him and said, "Hey Donnie, this is going down. You might want. Can I get a statement?" Like I gave him a chance to do the right thing, and he said, "Oh no, we're doing the right thing. We're allowed to do this." I'm like, "Yeah, Donnie." I'm like, "Are you sure?"
Well, here's the thing, and me and Joe talked about this. It doesn't even matter, Donnie.
Right.
If you think you're doing the right thing, or if the zoning guy, or if the lawyer thinks you're doing the right thing. What matters is the people that put you in that chair. If they care, it doesn't matter what you think, because if you don't get with what they tell you to do, you're going to be out. So it doesn't matter what you think. It's what the people who elected you think.
Or let's just say even if they make a rule that's legal.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, like
doesn't freaking matter.
It's legal.
If the people, if they make a rule that says we can take it out of their yard and the people don't like it, the people have the power to vote someone else in and tell those people, hey, change this rule or else we'll pick somebody else.
Right. It
doesn't matter what you think. It's what the people who elected you think. We need to run this country that way.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah, right. That's very true. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Right. I just, they had, and here's the thing that just really pissed me off about it. And this is what I call him, or I message him. I knew, and you know me, Isaac, you accuse me of doing this all the time. You accuse me of doing this all the time. When I ask questions, I already know the answers. You say that all like I already know, and you always accuse me of this. I already know the answer, and I'm just setting you up for it, right? Like I'm setting you up for it, and I already knew the answer, and I even gave him like 2 or 3 chances to say the right answer.
The best part was I had on my phone the notes you sent me, and you're like, Christine Oliver will call in. This is what she'll say. This is what you're going to respond with. Oh my God, dude! Like, what is happening?
Hey, did I do it? How did I do?
Say that, and like she says something. I'm like, oh, he said she was going to say that. Okay.
How did I do? Was I right?
Reviewing my notes.
Did she say what I said she was going to say?
So she
was I close?
She didn't. So Christine, go listen. Her audio is great. She didn't backpedal at all and said,
Yeah.
she just said, this is the way we used to do it. We don't want to do it the old way where we would just straight up fine people. But we also, like, she's like, you also make a good, like, nowhere in the ordinance does it say you can go on to people's property and take their shit. Like, nowhere on there does it say that. So we're working on it. We're going to write something new and we'll fix it, is what she said.
Beautiful. Well,
So,
I like it. Good. Well, I think job well done. And we didn't even do much. We just literally, you know what? We didn't do much. We just brought it to light and fed it to the riffraff, and the riffraff took it from there.
Me and Joe, like, after that, before we start talking about Trump and Elon, which was fun, but after that, we just brought up again, like, 20 years ago, how different this situation would have been if that dude didn't have a camera on his property, because then it becomes he said, she said, and the government's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you aren't allowed to, and it looks bad because we have the technology to prove an unmarked car rolled up this dude's house, took a sign and left. And it's like, that's not right. But if we didn't have the tech that we have now and the ability, and not even that, but the ability to come on a dumb podcast, have 100 people watching live and communicate and get 20,000 views on that video and spread it across the internet like wildfire, those politicians wouldn't be nearly as scared as they are right now. So that's proving that time's changing. And the people have the power if you do it right.
In the last 2 months, I just want to go over this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we played a part, but we have brought to light, and I feel we have changed some things, and we have helped. We've and not just us, but also the people watching, the viewers.
Like, it wasn't really even us. It was that dude sharing that video with us posting it out to our
exactly.
community.
But I'm saying it's the social media aspect, the people watching, right?
Yeah.
The IEPs at South Range, those kids, if it wasn't for social media, those kids would not be going to South Range next year.
Right. I mean, those people were outraged enough, and they showed up to the meeting. So,
and they got support from social online. It went viral, where people from Michigan and Texas were calling South Range, bombarding them. Right. Walt DeShields, West Branch coach, gets his job back.
Yeah.
After getting wrongfully fired. That would have never happened 20 years ago.
What was different about this one, though, is Canfield government mentioned this in their meeting the other day, which you shared the clip of.
Right.
There weren't a lot of people in that meeting. It was nothing more than them in the meeting were like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then this comes up, and they realized the pain train that was coming, and they corrected course. Called us this morning and then sent out a letter because they're like, we don't want the heat, which is exactly what you as a resident,
everyone should do it, not just us. Right. This is what people need to do.
You want them afraid of you. You really do. Like, I know Christine Oliver's awesome. She's a nice lady. Dottie Dragish is nice, dude. I don't really know the rest of the folks that much, but like, it's not a personal thing. It's nothing more than like, as residents, like, you want your government to have the least amount of power. And if they step out of line, this is one tiny small thing, but it could be something big in the future. And if they go to make that decision and they think in their head, well, think about the sign thing. If we make a stupid decision, they're going to be on us like flies on shit. Like, we have to be careful. And
it's a bigger thing.
Want them thinking. That's exactly what you want.
It's a bigger thing. These school boards, the more this happens with the people on social media, uniting, holding them accountable.
Keep them honest, man. Keep them honest.
That's it. It is it. So, all right. Well, good job. Thanks. I'm glad you came on. I missed this morning, but I was golfing and drinking and eating, so it was fantastic. I took a banger of a nap after that golf outing.
Did you?
So,
dude, I'm so surprised. It was weird. It would rip a storm and then stop, and then get nice, and then rip a storm and then get nice.
So we were at Bedford Trails, which is kind of Hubbard, over that way. Like, it rained for a minute. 1 minute. And Maggie called me and texted me and said, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I didn't take a gummy. I swear to God." And she's like, "No, it's thundering and lightning and windy and
Right.
blow." And I'm like, "I'm
Yeah, dude.
totally. There's not even rain. It was sunny."
I went for a run around 2, and the last quarter mile was like, oh shit, raining, like pouring thunder, lightning. I was
Yeah.
sprinting home, and it was bad. But
Yep. Okay, hold on. We got some. Let's go a couple comments. So, anybody know who the zoning inspector is? I would. It's on the website, Melanie. You can actually look on the Canfield government website. You can see his name and his contact.
and
Candy
it's
asked.
not.
I don't know if
I
anyone.
the inspector isn't elected, so
No, he's put in. Yeah, he's hired.
right, and it's really honestly, unless that like there's nothing you could really do about him. What you got to do is check the elected officials so that they put that dude in line.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
whether that guy is a total butthole or not, there's not
Yeah.
much you can do to him. You go after the elected officials.
Yeah.
They boss him around and say, "Hey, stop being an
Well,
idiot and going on people's
so
properties."
the way it would work in the grand scheme of things, it would be the councilman would then contact the city manager who's in charge of those
Correct.
people, and the city
Correct.
manager
And
would
I don't
be
know. That dude could just be being told what to do. Hey, go take that sign.
yeah.
He's just doing his job.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that's what's happening. Yeah.
So you can't blame that dude directly. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know him. He could be a
Yeah,
jerk.
and Dan said they're worried people will find out the order. Dan, here's the thing. I am 100% sure they don't have an ordinance that says you can go on their property and steal their sign. I am
Yeah.
100%. It's
Yeah,
not
we
legal.
read. Luke, didn't you read the ordinance? And there's
It's not in
no.
there. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It
My
doesn't
computer's.
exist. The only
My,
ordinance in there says you can get fined $100 after you receive a warning. That's
my,
they are making that up. And like I
yeah.
said before you got on, in the council meeting the other day, the lawyer was like, "Oh, well, there's an ordinance here, and this is that." They were just making it up because they have to, because they're busted doing
Yeah.
something illegal, and if they admit it, they're holding themselves accountable to lawsuits, right?
Right.
So you
Right. Right.
can't admit he did anything wrong at that point.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I have to go. My computer's about to reboot,
Okay,
so
I'll
I
see you
gotta
later.
go
All
make some
right,
comments. I'll
bye.
see you guys. Bye.
And then one last, and then we'll go here. This says, I don't know if anyone has asked clarification to find sign. I would call the city. I would call the city. I would talk to somebody there and ask. I know that's a gray area. I would ask them and see what they say. So, all right, I'm gonna go. Well, thank you, Dan. We are 100. So, all right, everybody, we'll see you guys. I'll be back. Isaac and I, Joe and I will be back on Tuesday. Don't know what we're going to talk about. I do have some West Branch stuff to update. As far as I did a new Freedom of Information request, as I'm hearing whispers and rumors that the Board of Education president is still trying to get Walter Shields fired. So I did some more stuff. So we'll see what happens. So have a great weekend. Stay dry today, and we'll see you guys all next week. And yeah, bye. Good job, everybody. Way to put the heat on Canfield. I'm proud of you guys. Bye. Love you. Bye.